Okay, so let's start with the UVs first. Let's name the ones we're missing. So this would be top strips, bottom strips, strips, low. Let's add the low here, and we're missing the cross section here for the head, but that one's pretty easy. Let's go to the mid, select these two, Control D for duplication, Shift P, hide this, and let's do the same thing we did for all of them. So let's just smooth and let's delete. Let's see how noticeable. Maybe before deleting those, let's wait. Let me see. Yeah, before deleting those, let's go and reduce, reduce, reduce one more time, and let's only delete from here this as well. Not that part because I can see it, and here up until here. Yeah. So let's delete here, and let's leave those there because we can see them, and this is like a big part of the model, so let's not delete those. Okay, this can be our low poly for that one. And let's smooth this one, reduce and reduce one more time, and also let's do the same thing. Oh, let's see which ones we can delete. Call these. Maybe not these ones. Yeah, and like that. And we can combine these ones, and let's call them head strips low. And for the high, I think, yeah. Okay, so now we have everything. Now we can start with the UV. So let's do this one first. Let's open the UV editor. Put it here. Let's hide this and let's start. So for UVs, I'm gonna explain real quick for this video how to do them, how to work on them, but I'm planning on uploading another one specifically about UVs, but still I'm gonna show you here. So what I like to do is, for example, I'm gonna Control Z this one. Every model, every object that you create, for example, if I create a cube here, you can see it already has UVs. So if I start extruding these and maybe doing this and merging this with here, deleting this one, extruding maybe a little bit here and here. As you can see, the UVs get messed up. So these UVs no longer represent this. So That's what happened with this. For example, we started, I think, with the cube here, and we started extruding and modifying. This is what happened to the UVs, but this is not what we need, of course. So for UVs, what we need is to make the representation of this 3D model into the space. So what I like doing is I first select all the edges and I sew everything together, so I have no seams or no cuts anywhere, and I can make my own. And like I mentioned before, one thing you can do if you're completely sure that you have the correct like soften and harden edges, and you already took into consideration the UV cuts, you can show the hard edges and cut every hard edge first. For example, for this piece, for the head of the axe, this is exactly what we need. Like this is perfect. If we only cut around the hard edges, for example, if I'm gonna show you here. If I select all these faces that are contained inside this hard edge, this edge that goes around all this part, and let's pretend I'm gonna take the UV projection from the Z axis to get this face as shell. So I go to planar mapping, I click the box, and I see it's on the Z axis, keep image with height radio, like these settings, and then project. I get this, and then I unfold this. Uh, I already have the UV. This is like a final shell for this piece, and I only followed the hard edge. Like this is the hard edge, and this is gonna work. Also for this back part, for example, I have these all these making hard. So I know I'm gonna make these cuts. This is already made. Like every white edge here in your viewport is a cut, a UV cut. So I'm just gonna make these three. I go cut, and if I go UV shell, I already have this shell, and this is the one I have. And if I unfold it, okay, like it, it's here, but it's since it was a mess here, I cannot scale it. But if I have this cut, and I have the how do you call it, the shell here, like this is already a shell, I can go mapping again, and let's go on the x-axis, and I have this shell here, and it's already by following the hard edges here. Another way I like to do this, the projections or the cuts, is for example, I know that I want to cut are all around these edges, these hard edges. I can go here to mapping, planar mapping, and instead of clicking any of these axes, I click camera, and I position my camera like on the y-axis, like looking down, as if I'm taking a picture of the shell I want, and then I click project. I get this, like it's a project, so I just unfold it now, and this is the shell representing this part of the mesh. Also here, let's select all these faces. And this is the cool part. This is why I like selecting camera instead of going on each axis. I select the shell I want to get, and then here I click shift, right click, and mapping and planar mapping instead of going into the box. But I do it like this, for example. I select it, and then I just go up like this, like just shift, right click up, and I get the camera projection. And then I just go control, right click to UVs by going like just to the right, control, right click to the right, like this, and I transform it to UVs, and then shift, left click to unfold, like just like this. That's why I really like floating menus in Maya. I feel like I work faster this way. For example, let me select it here, two faces, just to show you. Let's pretend I selected this, and I go like this, unfold, and I already have this one. And it's just like pop, pop, like really quickly. But yeah, okay, so unfold, and I think I grabbed something. Yes, now that I was re-showing it, I grabbed one face from the other side, but it's fine. Let's just unfold this one, and I have this, both sides, top side. I can select the bottom. I position the camera on the y-axis, and I go like I said, shift, right click, and to the top, and then I go control, right click, and to the right, like this, and I get UVs, and then I go shift, right click, and to the left, and I unfold it, and that's how I get this part. So now I'm just missing. Let's see what this is. I think it's the front. Yeah, it's just this thin strip. I select the first one, shift, double click here, and then I place my camera here, top, and I can rotate this one to UVs and unfold. To UVs, like I said, shift, right click. Oh, wait, I have a shield, shift, right click. No, control, right click to UVs, and then I unfold it. And for this one, since it's just a strip, we can shift, straighten, straighten UVs, and we get like a straight piece. And this is what we want. And these are our final UVs for the head, and this will work nicely. So now we can go. And as you can see, I followed the hard edges that we took into consideration. And you might ask, like, why didn't he leave this one as a hard edge if this is a hard edge in the high poly? That's because we don't need it, because the the hardness from this edge, like this detail that you're seeing here, it's gonna get projected either way, even if we have it hard or low here in the low poly. We don't need to have it precisely here, you know. So once we, and you'll see, and like I said, if we're missing any edges or any geometry to make the bake better, we're gonna go back, and that's what baking it's all about. Like seeing if something works, if we need to fix anything, we go back in Maya and we go back and forth. But for this one, I'm trying to prepare as much as possible to keep um, less mistakes. So this one's the low poly. We can move on to the next one with the UVs. And like I mentioned, like we have this one, we go to the UVs, we hide the toolkit, and you can use the toolkit. Like the toolkit has a lot of, for example, you can select UVs or shells by like this is shells and this is UVs. But like I said, I recommend you get used to the floating menus rather than trying to look everything here. But I know that at the beginning it's easier to look at the options and whatnot, but try to get your shortcuts set up like the ones you feel comfortable with, and also the floating menus, because it's really nice and fast to just go like UVs or UV shell edges and whatnot. But yeah, okay, like I said, this one already has cuts and I don't want that, so I'll select everything. So, and you don't need to do this, but it's nicer to not see them here. I'll go to faces and I go top and project this one, or instead of doing that, I'll go Control Z. I can select all this loop and then Shift right click cut, and it's the same thing. I have this one, and then unfold it. Um, okay, so it's the same thing. For example, if you select the faces and project it, it'll create the cut for you. But you can also create the cut and then unfold it. Now I'll go down here, and as well, I'm gonna go I select these faces and I'll project it and then unfold it. It's the same thing. And as you can see, the cut, it's created automatically. So now we can orient it. For example, it was like this. For this piece, it doesn't really matter because it's gonna be all wood and not there's not gonna be text here or anything or any details that needs. But you need to get used to keeping everything clean. For example, this one was like this, but you can keep it straight, like for example here, and then you click edge, click here, shift, orient edge, and you know now that this one is perfectly straight, which it won't matter because, or maybe it will, we don't know. So that's why you get used to keeping them straight always. So now we have this piece left, and for this one I'm gonna pretend this is the front of the object, even oh, I'm not pretending, this is the front of the object. So this is the front of the object, even though it's an accent, you can grab it from wherever you want or take renders from wherever you want. But let's pretend this is the front, okay? So now let's grab this one. This is the UV shell we're gonna work on. And we always wanna try to hide the seams whenever we can, because there's always gonna be UV seams, and sometimes they might be noticeable, even though nowadays it's harder to tell where they are, but it's fine. So let's just go to this edge, which I think this edge is the one that's gonna be harder to see the cut. If we pretend this is the front, like this is the front of the object, so we click here on this edge and then we click cut, and then we unfold it, and as you can see, it's think of it as if you were cutting from here and then spreading it open. So I'm cutting here with a knife, and then this piece goes here, and then this piece goes here, and I'm flattening this cylinder. And that's how I got this. And for this one as well, we can go UV shell and then to UVs, straighten UVs, and we can keep this one straight. So we now have, and we can also rotate it like this, or we'll see when we're laying them out. So now we have the UVs for this and this. Let's go for these ones. Also, another way of getting rid of the cuts is select all the faces and just do a projection overall. And of course, in the borders, you're always gonna get a cut. So that's fine. Let's select all this and project it. Let's select all this and project it. Straighten, unfold it, straighten, unfold it, straighten, and let's see. Yeah. Let's continue. Which one was I doing? Okay, this one. So now let's select all this and let's project it from here. And like I said, let's pretend the other side is the front and let's cut it here and unfold it and we get this. And let's try to see. Nice. Sometimes it won't be perfect, the straighten. And I'm gonna show you. If it's not perfect, you select from here and then right click on the other one, align UVs, max UVs, and then shift right click, align UVs here, and then you unfold it along U, and then you can straighten it. That's how you get it manually, but it worked nicely the first time, so it's fine. Now let's select all of these and let's cut it here. And these are the ones that sometimes are more tedious. Let's rotate this part. Let's rotate this part and let's select also this part. Let's select all this part, all the top ones, all the bottom ones, align them minimum, and then shell, control right click to UVs, unfold, shift right click, unfold along U, and then straighten UVs. And now we have this perfectly straight UV, which is what we want. And let's do the same for the other part, for the top part. Projection. Let's cut it. I'm lost already. Where am I? Oh, this is the bottom one. See, I thought it was the top. So let's click here. Unfold. Also, if you like using the toolkit and you can select here, you go unfold and then unfold. It's the same thing. So now let's select this part. Let's select all these UVs and then the top ones, align top, align max, and then align min. And as well, if you want to find it here in the UV toolkit, you go transform, I think. I'll find it for you, don't worry. Align and snap, and these are the same as going here. For example, you see this icon, min V, and then I'm not gonna click it, and then I click this one. It's the same thing. And then I select this one, and there's unfold along U. And then if I select the UVs, I think there's also straighten UVs here. And it's the same as going like on the floating menu. And for this one, let's select it and align max. And we can scale it back down. If you like to use the UV toolkits. So for this one as well, let's go project. This is the back here. No, see that this is what I meant. Like if I go straighten here, that's what happened, and that's not what we want. So let's select the top, the bottom, unfold along U, then straighten. This one will work nicely. Yeah. For this one, project, unfold, straight. This one didn't work quite nicely, but it's fine. We can select these two, align minimum, these two, align minimum, straighten, and that's fine. We're missing these two, project, cut here, cut somewhere here, and let's straighten them. Max, like min, unfold along U, straighten, and let's same thing for this one. Select these UVs and rotate them here. This, rotate them here. Select this one, top, and unfold, straighten, and let's get. And there we go. We have the UVs for this one, straight and everything. Now this one, which is exactly the same thing. Let's select project tool. Okay, let's try this. Oh yeah, it might work. So yeah, I projected all the loop, the face loop, and then I unfolded it, and I can select from here to here, top, minimum, unfold, straighten. It will take longer, but it will work. So now we go something like this, and we can even, it didn't work that nicely. We can go here, like this, here and here, and like this, and then we can select all the middle UVs, and for this one click straighten, and still it doesn't work that well, but it's fine. We can do it manually too. Or leave them like this if we want, but let's see. What I'm trying to say is that of course this would take a lot of space because it's like a big strip. So we can divide it into pieces. So let's say here, 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 and those are just some arbitrary cuts. Let's cut it, and now we have multiple strips. And we'll see once we're laying them out if we still need more or less cuts, we can do it. It doesn't matter if we need to change it. Oh, we can leave these ones as if they're going like around and around, we can leave them like this, or we can just straighten the border. What's this? Let's see. Yeah, also for this one. for this one as well. It's huge. Let's just straighten it. And let's also make multiple cuts, like one here, one here. Oh my god. One here. Like I said, we'll see once we're laying them out. Those were too much, but it's fine. Also, for this one, I think I can just unfold it. Yeah. Let's straighten. Okay, we can delete this. Yeah, we didn't delete the other side. And for this one as well, we can. I'm thinking we're gonna have to change the cuts, but it's fine. Let's just make them like this for now and see afterwards if we need less, because I think we're gonna need less, but it's fine. We'll see. So now we have the UVs for this one. And I think that was like the more tedious one. All the other ones are pretty easy. So let's select this one and let's go like this. Select a cut here, unfold like we've been doing, and straighten. Select this and this, top and bottom, and then map planar, and then cut here, unfold. When these ones don't work, it's like the more tedious one. I'm gonna link in the description some tools by Malcolm. I don't remember the name, but it's his name's Malcolm, and he makes some really cool UV tools that make way easier your life way easier. But I'm gonna link them in the description in case you want to get them, which makes this process like less painful. Uh, like there's he has tools that makes this like a 2-click process. Just select the seams, then click a button, and it straightens the UVs for you really nicely. Instead of having to do this, unfold, straighten. Maybe you've already seen him, but if you haven't, I'll send you to his video. And for this one, let's select all of these. Cut here, unfold, straighten. Yeah. Top, bottom, project, cut here, cut here. These work first try. Nope. Again, select these UVs, rotate them, rotate them. Straighten. And remember, I'm first rotating them to let the program know where I want them. Like I wanted a straight strip from here to here, so then I select the top ones and I right click Shift right click, align UVs, minimum. Then I go to UV shell, select the shell, right click. You don't even need to convert this to to UVs. That's just something I always do. But if you select the shell and then just go unfold, unfold along U, and then here you do need to convert it to UVs and then straighten the UV. So now we have this one. What are we missing? This. Oh yeah, the bottom one. So let's make a cut here. Straighten. Cut here, cut here. This one wanted to work, but it didn't. Align them, unfold, straighten, scale them down. So now we have all these pieces UV'd with these. Now this one, I think this one's the easiest one, but it's still the same again. Like just select all the faces, map, planar, and then you know what? Let's select all of it. Take a picture from here. Then all this loop, cut it, unfold it, straightened it. Okay, I see what happened. So now that it's straight, let's make the cut here and the cut here, and that way we don't need to straighten this twice. Like I already have it straight, like straight. Also this one. We have it straight, and let's make it. And this way it's easier, and I don't know why I didn't do that for all the other ones. And that way I don't have to do it 3 times. So now we have this one. Now let's make this one as well. Let's take a picture. And a picture by a picture, I mean the projection. Then let's select all these loop, cut, and let's unfold along along, straighten, and let's do the same. Let's cut here, let's cut here, and we have it straight. Oh, no. Let's unfold along U, along V, and straighten. Okay, we'll see. Okay. Okay, for this one, I'm not pretending nothing happened. I'm just, for example, the main part we're worried about is this one. This is like because these two are not gonna be noticeable. These are gonna be mostly hidden. So if it has some blue or pink patches, it doesn't matter. I mean, it might matter, but we'll see. And for this one, um, I can leave it like this or make more cuts to make it better, like closer to white, or I can leave it like this, which is what I will do, because since it's all leather, it's not gonna matter that much. But if you want, you can leave it like this, but it's gonna make a not such a great UV layout. When you lay it out, it's harder to lay this out than a straight part. Or maybe I can make another cut, let's say here, and straighten this part, or or maybe even a cut here. I don't know, like multiple ways you can do it. For example, this is making it better, but it's better to have it just like one piece, also because it's just gonna be like one, uh, not one big part piece of leather, but like these are the strips of leather, and they're like this small. But we'll see. Like I said, we're gonna go to Marmoset and we're gonna bake it, and we'll see if this will work. If not, we can come back and fix this part. But but yeah. Um, so now we have this, and I think all the UVs for everything are done. So now we can go and do a test layout. Let's select all the UVs, modify, layout. Let's go on Fold 3D, 2048. Let's do 10 iterations, off for pre-rotation because we already made them straight like we wanted them. Preserve 3D ratio, translate shells, also not rotate shells. Padding 8, tile padding also 8, 2048 pixels, and let's lay them out. Okay, so this is the test layout that we got, which is not great. So let's first make a cut here so that we have the handle in two pieces, which is fine, like I said, because we can use the triplanar method in Substance Painter and it wouldn't be noticeable, and the seams here behind the strips. So we can select it again, and let's do another layout to see if it's better, because look at all this wasted space. And that's not something we want. So let's do another layout. Okay, so this is the layout we have now, which is fine for what we're doing. You can get a better one, but this will work. This is fine. So, okay, so let's close this for the UVs for now, and let's move this up, and let's open these parts. So let's select the head, and let's name it. Let's name everything properly now. Handle. And I'm copying the one from the low into the high. High. I had two for some reason, so let's just delete one. And this is top, high. This is main. Just change it to high. And this is bottom. High. Okay, so now we have everything. Yeah. So we can now export it. And let's select this. Go File, Export Selection. Let's go to the export folder. Let's do it here on the low. Oh wait, not this. Axe low. Let's select triangulate it and export and close. Now let's go to the high. File, export selection, axe. And instead of low, let's go high. but let's remove the triangulation. And oh yeah, I wanted to mention something that I didn't mention while we were doing the low poly. Um, for the high poly, as you can see, we have the hole, but I know you noticed that in the low poly, I don't have the hole. The I don't know, for this project, I think maybe we could have not have the hole, but it's fine. Like it will add some nice detail. But as you can see, even in the high poly, if I isolate the high, it's not even that noticeable. I mean, you can see it a little bit, but it's not that noticeable. But we could have left it without the hole, and maybe it would look nice, or no one would have noticed. But we have it, and it'll bake nicely into the low poly, and it'll give some nice detail that there's something going up there. So, so yeah, now that we exported everything and we have it ready for bake, let's go into Marmoset to see if we're gonna need to fix anything or if we can proceed into the texturing. Okay, so let's start working on the bake. For the bake, first I wanna do something to the high poly. Let's just isolate the high part of the head, and let's go and select all these faces. Shift double click the next one, shift double click the next one. I'm selecting faces. And let's select all these as well. You can switch to the lasso and select what you're missing. So now I have everything selected. I can go assign new material. Let's do blend, doesn't really matter. And then just do like something different, right? And this is just so we can select easier this part, which will have like a variation on the metal. Okay, so now that we have this, we can uh, export the high in the export folder with no triangulation, and we can call it axe high. Wait, no. Before doing that, let's duplicate the low and let's bring it here. I'm gonna combine this one, the duplication, and I'm gonna call it axe. So let's call it axe final, and then let's select both parts of the head, like the low and the high. I'm gonna open here so you see what I'm selecting. So it's head low, head strips low, head high, head strips high. And I'm gonna move it here so we don't get any problems with the AO when we bake it. I'm gonna select top strips low and high, and I'm also gonna move it here. Main strips here, and bottom strips, and move it here. So the AO is not gonna interact this one with this one and this one with this one. Like it's just gonna make it cleaner. Um, so now, we can export it. So we select the low and the final, and I'm gonna export selection and call it axe low, and let's put triangulation, close it, and now the high, and let's go export selection. But let's call it high and remove the triangulation. So now that we have it like this and exported, we can go into Marmoset. And here in Marmoset, we can click this little bread icon. We can change it to 4K. We can do 64, and then we're gonna click load to load the models, and then just click load and load both your high and low poly. So we have them here. So we select them both and click open. I'm gonna click here on this H to hide the high poly. I'm gonna go here in the output and click the three dots, and I'm gonna change this to Targa, and I'm gonna call this one just like Axe. Save. So now what I'm gonna do is, now that everything is set, I'm gonna click bake, and once it stops baking, I click preview, and this is the model with the, as you can see, if I click here, I can see all the detail here, even though, as you know, in the low poly, there's nothing. There's no geometry in the middle. So this is exactly what we wanted. I also wanted, let's see, for example, this one is not baking properly, so just select it, find it here, click on the low, and just expand it, like make this one bigger. And then we're gonna rebake it, but I wanna fix all of them also. This one looks, um, that one's fine. For this one, we can also fix it. And let's click bake to see. There we go. So, okay, so now that we have it proper, we can go and bake the ambient occlusion. And this one will take a little bit longer, but we can wait. Now that it's done, we can also bake the material ID, and this one doesn't take long. And I'm also gonna bake the curvature map because I think we're already here, so it's fine. So okay, now that we have all those maps, we can go into Substance. Now that we're in Substance Painter, we can go click New. We select the low from where we saved it. We're gonna click 4K. We changed this to OpenGL because we're bringing maps from Marmoset toolback, and then here in Import Baked Maps, I'm gonna add all the ones that I just baked, and then I'm gonna click OK. Here's the model. I'm gonna go and plug everything in, the normal, the ID map, ambient occlusion, and also we bake the curvature map. Now I'm gonna go bake mesh maps, and we're gonna just remove the check marks from the ones we already have. We're gonna leave these ones. Let's change this to 4K. Let's select the high poly. 64 by mesh names. We're gonna get a warning here because the axe final doesn't have like a low. But it's fine. It's just showing what we make here, so it doesn't matter. So now that we have everything, let's bake selected textures and let's wait. Okay, so now that we have everything baked down, we can return to painting mode, and we have, as you can see, it already plugs them for you here. So we can go back here, and we're ready to start texturing now. So now that this is ready, we can start texturing next.